want to talk about your most recent outdoor adventure that you embarked on. And you described this trip as incredible, emotional, and even spiritual. And you were in the Eastern Sierras tackling a mountain that is not too well known and not often spoke about. And that mountain is called Bear Creek Spire.
Yes.
What exactly brought you to this particular peak? And what was the significance of this trip for you?
Okay. All right. So the reason why I did this mountain, because a friend of mine, it was hiking partner, climbing partner, and he was part of the team No Sleep with Tony, Iris, and Ale. They're part of, his name's Nemo, Nemorio. His full birth name is Nemorio Hernandez, but we call him Nemo. He unfortunately hiked that mountain on his own solo without any ropes or anything, just free solo climbing it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it's a five. The route we did was a 5.3, 5.4, but still you need ropes. You know, a good strong climber can do it without can solo it. But he was strong, but I mean anything can happen. You know, even the strongest climbers, you know, has fallen free solo, but he was still, I guess 2 years into it climbing, but he was a natural strong climber. That it was last year 4th of July weekend.
Last year?
Yeah, so it's been a year now.
Wow.
So that 4th of July weekend, I've already made plans with two of my friends, backpacking trip in the Sierras. It was with Jason, SD hiker, and Diana, Hiking the Adventures. So and then he actually texted me, he's like, "Hey, dude, Cisko, you want to go do Bear Creek Spiral?" And I didn't know what it was. I was like, I actually put the message saying, "What's that?" That's how I didn't know about that.
Pretty wild name.
Yeah. So I didn't know, and he told, and I looked it up, and it's like, "Oh, okay." I told him, I'm already busy that weekend. I already had plans, but I told him I'm free on Monday or Sunday. I'll be in the Sierra still, and he couldn't do it. Is that okay? And I told him my last message was best of luck, be safe. That was a message on my Instagram messenger that we talked, and that was the last I've heard of him. Unfortunately, that weekend when I went backpacking and he went to do that mountain, I didn't tell my Jason or D, but I had a really bad feeling with my friend.
Oh, you had a feeling already.
Like,
wow.
Like I feel like my, it's like a energy, the vibe, like my heart started like pumping. It was anxiety. I just kept thinking about Nemo. It was like something was wrong. Like I felt like the energy, the universe is telling me that my friend was hurt, but I didn't want to tell my friends because the vibe. I just want to keep it to myself. But as soon as I got back down, I got serviced and everything, I texted my friend, my Nemo, and I kept texting him. He never really he never messaged me back. I was just like worried and just thinking like, man, I hope he's safe, because I just reading the research about it. It was a climb to do, a rock climbing, but I knew he was strong and everything. He's a fearless guy. He's a mountain goat. He's faster and stronger than me actually. So I never thought in my mind that something bad was going to happen with him. And sure enough, to the next day, I got a call from, it was a message from David Trailmax. He messaged me, he told me, like, did you hear about Nemo? And it's like, no. And he told me.
So you found out the day after.
Yeah.
He already was supposed to finish his climb.
Yeah. So after, and then I couldn't believe it. And then I called Tony, and then I got a message from Tony. He started crying, and then I couldn't. He was like he passed away in the mountain, and I was just devastated. I couldn't believe it. And then I started messaging with Iris. She told me she already knew about it, and I told and then I called my friend Vicky, another good friend of mine, and she was at work, and she thought it was like playing. I was lying. I told her nope. We were just
disbelief,
and then just shocked. No words can describe. Like, just couldn't think Nemo. Like, really, like he's a mountain goat. You would think you're like, people think you're unstoppable. Like you're strong and everything, but it can happen to anyone.
And you brought something.
Yes. Would
you like to show?
Yes, I actually. So this is his backpack. Nemo's backpack that he he last did, Bear Creek Spiral.
So he did Bear Creek Spire with his very backpack.
Yeah, his backpack, yeah.
And you wore this over the weekend.
Yes,
in honor of him.
Yes, over the weekend in honor of him. I've waited over a year to do this. I wanted to because anyone passes away. It's a tough year. The first year is always the toughest to grieve through, and I waited for a year just to wear this backpack. I never used it for any hike.
That's so crazy.
So I wanted to honor him and go back and go do this mountain for him. So
you did it,
and I did it, and it was an amazing, incredible experience. We backpacked it with another friend of mine. His name's Daniel Guerrero, another climber of mine, and he's a good friend with Nemo as well. We were just so impressed and how strong that he did it in one day. Nemo did it in one day, doing Bear Creek, and we did it backpacking, and we struggled. Like it was like hard just to get to the approach, climbing it, getting down. Me carrying all the gear and everything, it was a challenge for me to do as well. So it wasn't a great experience to do. But when I wore his backpack for the first time hiking this mountain, I felt like his presence, I felt his energy, I felt he was with me. Like I can hear his voice. He was telling me, because he speaks, we usually speak in Spanish. He would tell me, "Si se puede, Cisko. Tú si puedes." Like, "Vamos, Cisko. Échale ganas. No pica." Like just the small jokes. We had some inside jokes we would do. Saca la mota, like, because we used to smoke weed all the time in the weed. So it was just like little jokes like that. I just can hear his voice
echoing in your mind.
Yeah, just like, and I can feel his strength, and like I felt like he was with me the whole way, all the time.
Wow.
So even like when we made it to the summit, there was a register, like those register signs. I was like trying to find his name. It was like on the registers on the paper when people signed their name, and it was all mixed in different orders. The dates, because people were just putting in whatever there was a space, and I was just desperate looking. And then when I found it,
oh, you found it.
Yeah, his name. I actually posted on Instagram too his name, and I was just crying. I literally just cried, like just crying. And then, and Daniel's like, "What happened? Like, you find his name?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he just like his name right here. And he made it at 9 a.m. He summited at 9 a.m, and we summited at 10 a.m. So he was an hour ahead of us. That's how strong he was.
How strong he was.
He was, and he made it at 9 a.m. So there was proof that he actually made it to summit.
Man, just you finding that message, I could only imagine the emotions that just like surged through you at that exact moment.
It was just like, I was just hiking the mountain, just hiking to the trail, just little tears, just tears crying in my eyes, the anxiety, just excitement. I was just like determined to do this. Like I was just ready to honor him for my friend.
I felt when you read that message though, like there was some kind of there's closure.
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely closure.
Like some kind of completion to the entire story, right?
Yeah, it was like, I felt like I am at peace now, because I was such a mess, losing a friend, just like my mother as well. It just, that depression hits you, and it's just like you hike certain mountains that you have memories with your friend, and you're just like, man, I wish he was here. When we went climbing on a specific rock, it was just like, oh, we did this. Oh, I remember we had plans to doing these peaks, these challenges. So we had so many goals, because I gotta give all credit to Nemo, because without him, he would have pushed me to my next, like, out of my comfort zone. Like, he actually got me into climbing. He actually wanted to keep pushing me to the next hiking level.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because he's pushed you to accomplish some insane routes and mountains.
Yes.
What were some of those things that he inspired you to do?
The one, for sure, I guess the one I guess a couple of weeks recently, when we talked about that, what he wanted to do. He wanted to do the Lone Pine to Whitney to Lone Pine.
Whoa, hold on.
That was one
Lone Pine to Whitney Summit to Lone Pine.
Yeah.
What are the stats on that?
That's over like 11, like almost 11,000 elevation gain. It was 40 miles round trip.
What?
Yeah, it was. I would say it's probably it's like
Backpacking trip? Or?
no, but just one day. Just I was running a trail running and then went to the Mountaineers route and like
You did it as a trail run in one day?
yeah, I just
Wow.
pushing it myself. Luckily, I had the endurance and I was already into trail running it and everything, but just pushing it myself to the summit, was an ass kicker to do.
Look what you made me do. I took off my sunglasses.
Like,
guys, I'm like literally mind blown right now.
I think
40
I
miles.
think it's like the cactus to cloud to cactus of Mount Whitney. It's like when people do that challenge, it's very challenging, but I just took it to the next level.